A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Today, we're going to be focusing on the North Central region of the country. We start off with the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court has held that henceforth, the federal government should pay any money standing to the credits of local governments in the Federation directly to the local government areas managed by democratically elected officials. In a lead judgment by Justice Emmanuel Ejim, the Apex Court also held that it is unconstitutional for state governments to retain and use allocation meant for the LGAs on their behalf without transferring same to them as provided in Section 162, subsection 3 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court made these pronouncements in its ongoing judgment in a suit filed by the Attorney General of the Federation seeking full autonomy for the local government areas. The Apex Court also held that it is illegal for governors to dissolve democratically elected local governments. It ordered the federal government to henceforth withhold allocations to local governments governed by unelected officials appointed by the governor.
We'll get the certified true copy of the judgment as a body, the body of State Attorneys General of the Federation. We'll study it and then we'll come up with our statement on it.
First of all, as far as I'm concerned, there's no winner, there's no loser. The Nigerian people will enjoy the benefits of good governance. I think this has been in the clamor for a long time. It's not personal. What is important is that the people will hold chairmen now more accountable because the funds are going directly to them. And I think that it is time for us to move this discussion forward. For us, this is phase 1. There is phase 2 that is coming. When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
A 3-man panel of the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja is set to deliver judgment in the appeal filed by Mr. Murtala Ajaka of the Social Democratic Party, challenging the judgment of the Kogi State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which affirmed the election of Mr. Ahmed Ododo as the duly elected governor of Kogi State. The Kogi State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja had in May 2024 affirmed the victory of Governor Usman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress APC in the November 11, 2023 Kogi governorship election. The 3-man panel of justices headed by Justice Ado Birinin Kudu held that the petition of Mr. Ajaka was bereft of substance and accordingly dismissed it. The tribunal further held that the petitioners, the Social Democratic Party SDP and its candidate Murtala Ajaka, failed to prove the allegations of overvoting and non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 in the petition. The panel, in its unanimous decision, held that all the witness evidence filed before it were incompetent and full of inconsistencies. It also agreed with the submissions of the respondents that the allegations of forgery raised in the petition were pre-election matters, which ought to have been raised 14 days after the documents were submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The Ilorin Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has held a rally in commemoration of the African Anti-Corruption Day. The rally, which was graced by stakeholders, including a monarch, took off at the zonal office to major roads across the state's capital of Ilorin. According to the zonal commander, who read the speech of the chairman of the commission, corruption has been a bane to local and global development. The whistleblowing policy introduced has been of help in the fight against corruption, but urged those who have information to ensure credible information are being given to avoid the wrath of the law. The Olosin of Isonlo Isin urged the commission to take the fight against corruption to the communities to sensitize the younger ones. The Senate has officially amended its rules for sitting during plenary from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and will officially sit until 3 p.m. The adjustments has, however, not altered the number of hours previously determined. This resolution was adopted after a motion moved by the Senate leader, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, on the need to facilitate effective legislative process by amending the standing orders of the Senate pursuant to Order 109 of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended. According to the motion, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, the Senate shall meet at 11 a.m. and unless previously adjourned, shall sit until 3 p.m. In a brief debate, the former president of the Senate, Senator Ahmad Lawan, voiced his objection to the new amendment, prompting an announcement for lawmakers to immediately dissolve into a closed-door session to further debate on the matter. When it reconvened, the upper chamber in a committee of the whole adopted the new amendment, officially amending the timing for sitting. President Bola Tinubu has been receiving recommendations over the announcement of the establishment of the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development at two different programs in Kwara State. Agriculture experts describe the president's pronouncement as visionary and strategic in improving livestock production.
Experts in the livestock sector and other stakeholders in the business gather in Kwara State as the government continues to implement proactive initiatives to put a stop to the prolonged herder-farmer crisis, as well as random encroachment on private land, schools and other areas. The occasion is the launch of the National Animal Identification and Traceability System by the Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Senator Aliyu Abdullahi. This initiative was conceived to help resolve the social, economic and security problems prevalent in the livestock sector to boost its productivity, aligned with the vision of the federal government to create the Ministry of Livestock Development.
Animal identification and traceability is an important component of trading in livestock. Need I remind us that the current state of insecurity in some states in the country was actually started as a result of rustling of cattle, where livestock owners are forcefully overpowered and their animals taken away. The growing domestic and global demand for animal products, margin opportunities are very clear. When we develop our livestock industry and we are able to satisfy the local demand, we should also begin to think about how to export to other countries.
The Kwara State Governor, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, who was represented at the launch, commended President Bola Tinubu for taking bold steps to develop livestock at various levels and perennial herder-farmer clashes across communities and transform the agricultural landscape to enhance food security.
This announcement has expectedly sparked national excitement around the future of livestock value chain and the potential to end the perennial clashes between herders and farmers. We thank Mr. President for these historic steps, and we are confident that all stakeholders will rally around the President to achieve this.
In a related development, as part of its own contribution to food sustainability efforts, the Kwara State government has trained 100 extension workers in livestock management under the Kwara State Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project.
One thing that clearly sets us apart from every other state is what we're doing here today. And that is what sets us apart in Kwara, because we know the role of our extension agents. And that's why we are investing in you all, because we know your significance to the success of all of our plans and all the great things that we're trying to do in agriculture in Kwara State.
The administration has invested in the development of the livestock sector to maximize its potential, particularly in beef and dairy production, and this training of human resources is expected to take things to the next level.
The issue of herders and farmers clashes is a major issue affecting the crop farmers and the livestock farmers. So if you can take away the crisis being caused from the point of view of livestock production, I think the crop farmers will have some reprieve.
It's also expected that the various initiatives being unveiled by different state governments will align perfectly with the federal government's efforts to ensure everyone gets a chance to put food on the table.
The Senate is debating a bill seeking to repeal the Foreign Exchange Monitoring and Miscellaneous Provision Act 2004, which already a function of the CBN and established the foreign exchange market in Nigeria. The bill, read for the first time in February 2024 and sponsored by Senator Musa Mohammed Sani representing Niger East, aims to make provisions for the control, monitoring and supervision of transactions conducted in foreign exchange markets. In his lead debate, Senator Musa notes that the bill is not seeking to establish any agency or commission that may require funding by government. The bill, when passed into law, is expected to contribute to sound development of the nation's economy, facilitate foreign transactions, as well as stabilize the value of the naira by ensuring the liberalization of foreign transactions. Clause 6 of the bill introduces new subclauses 2, 4, and 5, which require authorized dealers to render returns to the CBN on sources of foreign exchange in excess of $10,000 and utilization of same, and obtain prior approval of the CBN when seeking to import foreign currency notes. A multi-million naira remodeled mobile police base has been established in Karuruk community of Barikin Ladi local government area of Plateau State as part of intervention to address security challenges within the crisis-prone communities. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, in his message at the commissioning and official handing over of the facility, described the renovated police base as proactive step taken by government to enhance operational efficiency of the police force and reinforce security measures in the affected areas.
With security of lives and property top priority in Plateau State, the National Hydroelectricity Power Producing Areas Development Commission and the Plateau State government are working together to keep communities safe. The collaboration is showing results with the remodeling of a mobile police base in Barikin Ladi local government area, equipped with modern facilities to enable the police carry out their duties.
Civil Service, Plateau State.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, is represented at the commissioning by his Chief of Staff, Simeon Tiongu.
Bring everlasting peace in the Kakuru community.
He appreciates the resilience and commitment of security forces in safeguarding the well-being of citizens in spite of the challenging security environment.
The unfortunate event of August 2023 is still fresh in our minds. The lack of adequate security infrastructure in this area had exacerbated the situation, underscoring the urgent need for interventions such as the one we are witnessing here today. Through the diligent efforts of NHYPADEC, this mobile police barracks has undergone a remarkable transformation, not only in terms of physical infrastructure, but also in terms of functionality and efficiency.
Over the years, communities in Plateau State have witnessed attacks by bandits at times, some more than others. A comprehensive needs assessment conducted by the federal government through the NHYPADEC resulted in the choice of this police base in Barikin Ladi to ensure timely response to any security breach.
We are confident that it will significantly contribute to addressing security challenges in the region. By providing our police force with improved infrastructure and resources, we empower them to maintain law and order effectively, thus fostering a sense of safety and security among the residents of Barikin Ladi local government.
There are other concerns from the state government, which is appealing to the federal government to assist with the safe return of displaced people to their homes.
There are a lot of people that have left these communities. They have left their homes. They are now homeless. I think the next step where I will ask and plead with the federal government is to join hands with the Plateau State government to make sure that we return these displaced people back to their ancestral homes so that they can also farm and live happily.
Also lending his voice to the need for increased security presence in Plateau communities is the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, who incidentally is represented by a former governor of the state, Simon Lalong, who now represents Plateau South at the Senate.
With the establishment of these barracks, we hope that there will be no longer any threat that will deter our people. from carrying out their lawful activities on their ancestral lands.
Police authorities in Plateau State recognize the importance of enhancing the command's operational capabilities to maintain law and order.
The project will go a long way as an assurance of safety to all the people in this community. And the Nigerian police, I will appreciate the project because I believe very soon the project will be officially handed over to the Nigerian police and to the Inspector General of Police.
The remodeled mobile police base was commissioned and handed over to the Plateau State government.
An update on the Kogi governorship election judgment. A three-man panel of the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja and presided over by Justice Onyekachi Otsi has affirmed the election of Mr. Usman Ododo as the governor of Kogi State. The court upheld the Kogi State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal verdict, which affirmed the victory of Mr. Ododo as the duly elected governor of Kogi State in the November 11, 2023 governorship election after dismissing the appeal filed by the Social Democratic Party's candidate Murtala Yakubu Ajaka. The appellate court, while resolving all four grounds of appeal against the SDP and Mr. Ododo, declared that the destiny of the appeal was not in the cloud and therefore dismissed it without cost. As part of efforts to ensure food security, the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has begun the distribution of free fertilizers to farmers in the state. The fertilizers are donated to the state by the federal government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, are given to farmers at no cost. Governor Sule, who is superintending over the distribution, is visiting all the local government areas of the state to ensure that 100 farmers, each from the 147 wards of the state, receive the fertilizers, which he believes will help boost the agricultural sector and enhance food production. Our correspondent, Halima Gayam, has a report.
Farmers across gender selected from the 147 wards of Nasarawa State receive NPK and urea fertilizers. It's a donation from the federal government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, distributed at no cost to help boost food production. Governor Abdullahi Sule leads stakeholders to the local government areas of the state to flag off the distribution.
Credit first goes to Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who in reality directed that the Honorable Minister of Agriculture should liaise with the central bank to release the fertilizer in stock so that we can come and take this fertilizer to the various states at no cost to the states.
Governor Abdullahi Sule is ensuring that the distribution is not according to any affiliations but to the farmers.
The reason why I decided to go out myself to witness what is happening is the fact that we wanted it not to be political. We want to make sure that farmers are the ones who are getting this fertilizer irrespective of their religious inclinations, what political party they belong, what ethnic group they belong. We don't care about that. We want to make sure that farmers are the ones who are getting the fertilizer.
The gesture is an addition to efforts of the state government to improve the agricultural sector.
Your dedication to this people is an evidence of your tireless effort to support agriculture in our state, including payment of all counterpart funds for agricultural interventions, purchase of tractors, distribution of herbicide and seedlings and other farm input to farmers in the state.
14,700 farmers are benefiting from this, selected from the 147 wards of the state.
Last year, I farmed about 20 hectares of land. I purchased fertilizer of about 300,000 something. So I am happy today I have one bag of it. A bag of it will cover about 2 hectares for me.
The farmers are cautioned to desist from misuse of the items as the federal and state governments partner to support them through several initiatives to improve farming activities, thereby reinvigorating the agricultural sector for enhanced food security. Halima Agayem, Channels Television News.
We head over to Benue State, where Governor Hyacinth Elia has tasked parents on their role in raising responsible adults by paying attention to their adolescent children by guarding against vices that leave them broken for the society to fix. The governor, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health and Human Services, Mrs. Beatrice Nsambo, at the 2024 Conference on Managing Adolescent Transition, warned that when children are poorly raised, it contributes to the present-day societal challenges of crime and gang violence, creating both insecurity and economic crisis. The keynote speaker, Dr. Grace Rimanura, a consultant public health physician, encouraged parents to observe the difference in physical appearance of their children and provide necessary guidance on how to handle their adult lives.
Long ago, this has been represented.
Young children and adolescents gather at the Benue State University, Makurdi, for the 2024 Conference on Managing Adolescent Transition, convened by the Benue State government and development partners. The goal of this year's conference is centered on raising wholesome teenagers, a panacea for healthy society where peace and development is sustainable, as experts offer key advice.
We know what is happening in our society, and we own it to each and every one of us, because if these children are being brought up properly, all the norms that we are seeing or experiencing in the society now will not be there. And I want to assure you that the moment we train our young ones in the right way, there will be peace in the society.
Interestingly, the keynote speaker, a consultant public health physician, encourages parents to learn how to deal with the psychological transformation of their male and female children to avoid poor handling, leading to breakdown of love due to undue pressure on adolescents.
Many parents sitting here, some of us are watching online, are not aware of the things that we need to tell them when they ask us these questions. And so sometimes they're even afraid of asking us. So they say, Ma, they told me that as a teenager, if I don't test out my reproductive organs, when I get married, I will have issues. But from your natural development, you don't need to test. There are things that nature has put in place as markers that your reproductive organs are working.
The representative of the development partner working on the project with the state government notes that even boys are being trafficked and abused, as she charges teachers and parents to evolve new thinking in raising young people.
Capacity building training is a training we carry out for parents and for teachers in schools. It's a training that testimonies, we have had several testimonies of parents being reconciled with their teenagers, with their boys and girls in the house, because there's this divide that usually comes when it comes to the adolescents and their parents.
Governor Alia, who is represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, applauds the initiative and urges them to begin work on raising responsible adults, saying parents have a huge role to play if the nation is to reverse the rising insecurity.
Carrying out programs like this to impact positively on adolescent productive health is very important to the society. This will enable us, will help in curbing and prevailing social vices ravaging our society today.
The increase in gangsterism and violent groups nationwide continues to pose threats to peace and development, as a lot of young people miss it in their adolescent age and during transition to adulthood.
And that's where we draw the curtains on Newsroom series today. I'm Dominic Iwiwu.